Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 15th of December. The first important news, that is Public Account Committee emphasizes for more medical facilities to the armed forces. Second, G20 seeks policy consensus on crypto asset. Third, Rajya Sabha passes bill to include UP Gaunt's community into the scheduled tribe. Fourth, how gene therapy could cure cancer. This is from the text and context page of the Hindu, right? This is from the TNC. And the last is an editorial, Building Climate Resilience Collectively. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before I begin this session, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find it informative for your examination purposes, do press a like button. Starting the session with the first news, that is PAC emphasizes for more medical facilities to the armed forces, something important for General Studies Paper 2 under the subtopic, that is Parliament and State Legislature, Structure, Function, Conduct of Businesses, Power, Privileges, and Issues arising from it. So recently, the Public Account Committee, in its 55th report, which was tabled in Lok Sabha, it has pointed out in accordance delay in the procurement for winter clothing for the soldier, specifically in the high altitude area, as well as implementation of the project for improving their housing conditions. तो जो पब्लिक अकाउंट कमेटी है उन्होंने लेटेस्ट रिपोर्ट जो लोकसभा में सबमिट की है उसमें उन्होंने इन बातों को हाईलाइट किया है, स्पेसिफिकली द आर्म्ड फोर्सेस विच इज डिप्लॉयड एट हाई एल्टीट्यूड लाइक सियाचिन फॉर एग्जाम्पल. Now, the Public Account Committee has also recommended an urgent revamp of the approach towards the procurement of high altitude clothing, equipment, rations, housing facilities for the troops that is deployed in the region. So basic amenities and facilities to their saving life should not be compromised. This is what the Public Account Committee has taken a note of, and this is really very important. Personally, I feel that these are the things that government should prioritize on urgent basis. Now, the temperature in such locations, including Ladakh, dropped up to minus 40 degrees Celsius. So definitely for humanly, it is not possible to sustain without the basic amenities. So essentially it is required that it should be there, and a consensus has to be made between all parties as well that इस तरह की चीजों पे प्रायोरिटी हमें रखने की जरूरत है. Now, demand for financial power की गई है. In this context, the Public Account Committee also referred setting up of an empowered committee in 2007 with full financial power for speedy procurement of clothing items for the troops in high altitude region. It also said there was a need for separate allotment of financial resources for meeting requirements of the troop deployed in the area having extreme weather condition. So these are some of the things essentially required, और financial power अगर मिलेगी खास करके पब्लिक अकाउंट कमेटी को तो वो efficiently फंक्शन कर पाएंगे और जितनी ज़रूरतें हैं जो आर्म्ड फोर्सेस की उसे पूरा कर पाएंगे. Now, फाइंडिंग ऑफ द कमिटी रिपोर्ट, जो रिपोर्ट सबमिट की गई है पार्लियामेंट को, उसमें कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट फाइंडिंग्स के बारे में भी पब्लिक अकाउंट कमेटी ने सबमिशंस दी हैं, एंड दे हैव कैटेगोरिकली नोटेड that the health and hygiene of the troops sanctioned at the high altitude area were reportedly affected as a result of procedures delay, non-supply or the supply of recycle or alternative items at the time is required. So timely supply is essentially required. And the committee also noted that the lack of research and development by the defense laboratories and the failure of Indianization resulted in the prolonged and continued dependence on import. So still जिस तरह की डिपेंडेंस इंडिया के इंडिजिनस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग पे होनी चाहिए वो भी नहीं है. इट विल टेक इट्स टाइम. सी सडनली दिस इज नॉट गोइंग टू हैपन. So for time being, we are some or less dependent on the import of that. Now, some recommendations that was given by the Public Account Committee, or also known as PAC. So what does the PAC recommend? It has advocated for a special ration where to be given to the troops which are elevating in the region. This will call for a psychological conditions of the troop which phase is basically in the high altitude region, right? So unko ek basically kind of a motivation, and even to give a proper nourishment, it is essentially required to have a good rations. The committee for instances has said that a short issues rations of the crop due to deficiency of internal control has to be reported. Referring to the project for improving the housing conditions for the troop in the high altitude region, the panel said that the audit found was executed on an ad hoc manner. So this is a temporary manner which the recommendation should be immediately implemented, and बहुत सारी ऐसे conditions हैं जिनको urgent basis पे seek out करने की जरूरत है. The committee was of the view that the mechanism need to be evolved to ensure the outcome-oriented monitoring expenditure and revenue capital procurement. This will also aid in reductions of the procurement timelines. So these were some of the major recommendations given by the Parliamentary Account Committee, that is known as PAC. And the other important area where the PAC has actually focuses upon is about the CSR contribution. It says that realizing the importance of the storage facilities for the purpose of the working by the troops forward locations, the committee said that it desired the oil PSU that they should construct more underground storage tank as a part of their CSR contribution, that is corporate social responsibility activities, so that troops do not face any inconvenience due to the fuel storage. So this is how their contribution will definitely help our forces to get things done in the right place. Moving to the other news, G20 seeks policy consensus on crypto asset, something important for General Studies Paper 3, that is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth and development. It is also important for General Studies Paper 2, where bilateral regional grouping and agreement is concerned. Now, according to the Economic Affairs Secretary, he has said that the G20 meeting, that is a group of 20 countries, are striving to build a policy consensus on crypto assets for better global regulation. So India ने presidency ली है G20 की. This will continue till November 2023, right? And during this, India wanted that regulations की अगर बात करें क्रिप्टो को लेकर के, उसमें कंसेंसस बने ताकि इसकी रेगुलेशन की जाए. Although RBI categorically has cautioned India in this regard, right? So India, which is currently holding the G20 presidency, is hosting the group for the first time, where the finance minister and the central bank deputies are meeting in Bangalore. This is going to held till 13 and 15, from 13 to 15, that is by today. The implications of the crypto assets for the economy, monetary policy, and the banking sector should be studied to uniform their consensus. So it is required the empirical evidence before any regulation is taken into place. Now, in fact, one of the priorities which has been put on the table is to help countries to build consensus for policy approach to the crypto assets. Now, collapse of the cryptocurrencies exchange. The discussion come after the collapse of the cryptocurrency exchange, that is FTX, which has led to the calls for better oversight of the crypto markets. The FTX is the hedge fund of Alameda Research and dozens of affiliated UK-based bankruptcy months after trading platforms suffered the rush of withdrawal and rescue deal have failed. Hedge fund are financial partnership that uses pooled fund and employed different strategies to earn return for their investors. Now, what is crypto and how this is being regulated? What are the types of the crypto? We'll look into the historical background of the crypto as well. Crypto is a digital money created from code. The cryptocurrency or economy is monitored by peer-to-peer internet protocol. Still in India, there's no regulation by RBI, that is by the Central Bank, Reserve Bank of India. The crypto is an encrypted string of data or has encoded significantly as one single unit. Now, there are multiple examples like Bitcoin market caps are there, Ethereum market caps, and XRP market caps are there, that is operating. Now, talking more or less about the crypto, that are benefits and some unknown benefits, like it has no intrinsic value, that has no remittable from another commodity such as gold, has no physical form and exists only in the network. Its supply is determined by the central bank and network is completely decentralized. Some unknowns about the cryptocurrency: it's a complex technology. Regulation implication is there, definitely for India, that is a main concern. Implementation challenges, competing platform. अगर कुछ benefits की बात करें global level पे, it has increased transparency, permanent ledger is there, accurate tracking part is there, and cost reduction are the part. But in Indian context, these benefits might not be applicable. Now, crypto story अगर देखें, this started way back in 2013 at their nascent stage. It was initial stage and handful of exchange was open. Now then gradually it took up in 2017, right, where the first draft recommendations by the government to curb the crypto trend over the uses of Ponzi schemes scams were there, and it was possibly no basically stand by the government that it might be used for terrorism purposes also. Now, in April 2018, RBI banks from the supporting crypto payments, but again, there's no regulation as such in India. On again 2018, Unicorn launched its first crypto ATM in India, and government panel recommended 10-year jail term for hefty finance. In 2014, the development took place, and again momentum with 13 large and 20 exchange opening took place. In 2017, Bitcoin hits all-time high, and former is no more. Late Arun Jaitley has said that the Bitcoin is not a legal tender, and exchange depended on the private peer-to-peer network for the payment. These are the developments that took place in 2018 consecutively. And again, Uncoin founder Satvik Vishwas was arrested by the Bangalore police. So basically, this was not a legal practice in India. And in March 2020, the Apex Court has lifted the ban, but still the regulation part is not mandated by the Reserve Bank of India. Now, moving to the other news, Rajya Sabha passes bill to include UP Gaunt's community into the scheduled tribes, something important for general studies paper 2, that is welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the center and the state government. Recently, the Rajya Sabha has passed the Constitutional Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Order, Second Amendment Bill 2022, and the bill seeks to include the Gond community into the ST tribe for the some part of Uttar Pradesh. The bill was earlier passed in the Lok Sabha this year only in the month of April. Now, what was the amendment that was brought in by the ministry? The bill amends the scheduled caste order to exclude the Gond community as a scheduled caste in the 4 districts of Uttar Pradesh, that is Chandauli, Kushinagar, Sant Kabir Nagar, and Sant Ravidas Nagar. Now, it amends the ST order to recognize the Gond community as a scheduled tribe in this 4 district. So, these 4 districts will basically take the cognizance and mark the Gond community as the ST tribe in the region. Now, budgetary allocations की बात करें, Ministry of Tribal Affairs ने कहा है that a budget allocations under the scheduled tribe compensation and component will be increased from 24,594 crore rupees to 85,930 crore rupees. Step has been taken for the education, economic development of the scheduled tribe in the entire country. Now, about the Gond tribe, something basic that you must know, and this might be relevant for the prelims examination, although a direct analytical question can also be framed in the UPSC mains examination about its evolution part, right? So, according to Census 2011, the tribal community account for 109 million and represent 8.6% of the country's total population. So, this is a factual important information for the prelims and mains examination. The total tribal population of the country and the Gonds are largest in the number. तो जितने भी tribes हैं उसमें Gonds की population काफ़ी ज़्यादा है. And Gonds are seen in the state across the Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Bihar, Odisha, and Uttar Pradesh. So from like central India to the southern India and even to the eastern India, the expansion is clearly visible. And there are 7 sub-tribes under the Gond tribe, which is common and with their ethnic region. Now, moving to the other news, this is basically from the text and context page of the Hindu, how gene therapy could cure cancer, something important for General Studies Paper 3, that is achievement in science and technology, Indianization of technology, and development of new technology. Scientists in the United Kingdom testing a new form of gene therapy reported success in a teenage girl with a form of the cancer where her T cell was actually basically was not functioning and it was having an autoimmune problem. अगर खास करके बात करें उस प्रॉब्लम को acute lymphoblastic leukemia के नाम से जाना जाता है. Now, what is the T cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia? It's a form of a blood cancer where T cell, where the class of the white blood cell, basically these are the cell which is helping to build up immunity. और ये family अगर T cell की बात करें white blood cells के अंदर आती है. They are equipped with horned and neutralized thread of the body and tune against the body and end up destroying the healthy cell normally, which helps to build up immunity. तो एक तरह से जो immunity चीजें developed होती हैं उसी की खास करके self destroyment होती है body में, which further call for deterioration of the immunity in the human body. The disease is rapidly progressive and it is usually treated by chemotherapy and radiation therapy. I'm not getting into deep down about the T cells, then there are further T4 lending cells that actually impact the HIV patients, right? That deep down is not required. तो कुछ ऐसी चीजें जो बेसिक्स आपको जरूरी हो वो पता होनी चाहिए because this might be helpful for the prelims examination. Now, what is base editing, which basically the scientist has come up with? A person with a genetic code has several permutations of 4 basically, जो genes की बात करें, वो 4 important components से बने होते हैं. The first is adenine, second is guanine, then third is cytosine and fourth is thymine. तो ये 4 combinations होते हैं जो कि हमारे जीन में chromosomes में होती हैं. The genes that are instructed to provide a wide array of protein necessary for the body functions. Now, recent the T cell, perhaps because of the misarrangement in the sequence of the bases, has become cancerous. अगर इनकी combination सही से ना हो तो वो कई बार cancerous हो सकती है. And a way to correct this misarrangement could means a healthier immune system, और अगर इसे ठीक कर दिया जाए तो जो immune system की function है वो proper हो सकती है. In the last 2 decades, the world of biomedical engineering has been enthused with this particular regarding the fixing of the error, but the achievement has finally made by the scientist. And the popular among the approaches has been CRISPR-Cas9 system के through इसे की जाती है. We'll see how it actually functions. I'll show you a diagram that will make you things more clear for understanding. Now, inspired by how the bacteria define themselves against the virus by skipping the storing pieces of the gene, तो CRISPR-Cas9 के system के through enzymes के molecules को replace की जाती है. It act as a cutting and seizure method. And it can replace the DNA with a precise location where the RNA can be inserted to change their genetic code sites. The CRISPR-9 system is believed to be fact the most versatile system to effect such gene editing. But how it actually works, let's see that. So this is how the editing take place, right? So basically what is happening, like you can see the step by step. So first, removed blood from the patient to get the T cells, right? And to make the crisp editing T cell in the lab is generated. Now the other gene which has to be removed is deleted with the genes, right? And the insertion take place. Further, the CRISPR GSR is being edited. This formula is used. There are other receptors NYSEO1. These are not important for your examination purpose. ये काफी deep है, आपको इतनी जानने की जरूरत नहीं. तो editing process होती है और उस editing में कई सारे chemicals gene delete किए जाते हैं. And thirdly, the growing millions CRISPR edited T4 genes है उनसे insert की जाती है और infusions की जाती है human body पे और further it calls for development and जितने भी जो destroy जो unimportant cancerous cell है उसकी destroy में जो carcinogenic cells हैं उसको इस T cells के मदद से destroy की जाती है. So this is how it actually function. This is also called gene editing and the part of the mutation that take place. Now, if you look into the making of the T cell attack, so first inactive virus is being inserted in the T cell. Virus is inserted into the T cell down. An academic antigen interceptor, this is known as CAR, is created. And this CAR T cell latches into attack the cancer cell and finally the cancer cell dies. So this is how it actually functions. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, Building Climate Resilience Collectively, something important for General Studies Paper 3, that is Conservation, Environmental Pollutions, Degradation, and EIA. So what is the discussion under this editorial? There are some important issues. Before the issues, first look into the theme of this editorial, that is the climate resilience development. और कुछ important issues की बात करें, data driven approach, urban sustainability assessment framework, causes for the basically जो क्या क्या भोपाल और जयपुर में क्या केसेस देखे गए हैं डेवलपमेंट इश्यूज को लेकर के उसके इन्वायरमेंटल कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस समझेंगे. दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ केस स्टडी एंड द वे फॉरवर्ड. So India has unveiled its long-term climate action plan at COP27, जो COP27 की मीटिंग हुई थी, COP27 meeting, which was there at Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt in November. So this was a part of the United Nations framework on climate change. While documenting the title, the long-term low carbon development strategy has a multi-sectoral measures that aims to reach the net zero status, even the climate resilience urban structure development, that is a cornerstone of Government of India strategy under the Paris Climate Agreement or Paris Climate Accord. Now, the three prolonged challenges or the plan for the urban focus area would be adapting to the resources for urban planning, climate response and climate resilience building, and municipal delivery services or service delivery. Now, some data-driven approach is essentially required. There are several flagship missions that is championed by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. तो कुछ उसमें issues की अगर बात करें तो target specific ऑब्जेक्टिव क्रिएट करने की बात की गई है, ऐसे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट की बात की गई है जो कि स्मार्ट हो, सस्टेनेबल हो और रेजिलियंस हो अर्बन इंडिया के डेवलपमेंट के लिए. सो यू हैव सीन मोस्ट ऑफ द बिल्डिंग्स दैट इज बीइंग बिल्ट बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया स्पेसिफिकली वो ग्रीन बिल्डिंग्स बना रहे हैं, ऐसे बिल्डिंग्स बना रहे हैं जो कि सस्टेनेबल हो इन्वायरमेंट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से. पूरी कंस्ट्रक्शन पे ध्यान दी जाती है. इवन द न्यू पार्लियामेंट बिल्डिंग दैट इज बीइंग ब्रॉट इन, जो सेंट्रल विस्टा प्रोजेक्ट है गवर्नमेंट की, उस पर भी इसी तरह से काम की जा रही है. Now, to facilitate the implementations of the long-term low-carbon development, the other missions and data-driven approach is also being used. Now, cities need effective and efficient planning instruments that translate master plans into transformative business ready for investment projects. Now, Urban Sustainability Assessment Framework. The Urban Sustainable Assessment Framework, a decision support, a tool of UN Habitat for the municipal commissioners, and the urban practitioners support the sustainable development and resilience planning and the management of Indian cities. It enables the cities to regulate and capture the intersectorial data for corresponding and analysis of urban metrics, जहाँ पे monitor की जाती है performance की, developmental process, the work that is being taken place, and post development how the impact assessment will be there, will be taken care by this urban sustainable assessment framework. Now, the cities enhance vertical integrations by pulling up together with the missions, जहाँ पे स्टेट की पॉलिसीज या प्रोजेक्ट लोकल इम्प्लीमेंटेशंस की अगर बात करी जाए तो सिटी स्पेसिफिक स्ट्रैटेजीज अपनाई जाती हैं ताकि जो इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान है वो सस्टेनेबल हो और वहाँ के सिचुएशन के अकॉर्डिंगली भी वर्क प्रोग्रेस कर पाए. Now, the cases of Bhopal and Jaipur, this is a kind of case study. In Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, for example, they make up 19% of the city greenhouse gas emissions. And Bhopal favor non-motorized transport, जिसे NMTB कहते हैं, which is 43% of the modal share, and provide for access of bike docking and stop only to 24% of the population, and one half of the stress has been given to footpaths. Now, by designing the shared interest of the person vehicles, public transport NMT pedestrian, linking them to future economic activities and underserved area, and the cities has immense potential to reduce the carbon footprint as well. Now, Jaipur के context में अगर बात करें, like in Jaipur, which is there in Rajasthan, with only 1.42 square kilometer capita of open space is there against the benchmark of 12 square kilometer per person, or a desert capital है also experiencing the various hazards include heat wave, droughts, and urban flooding. So, residential area with at least 10% of the land under the open space park were open to be have 1.2% cooler than the neighboring with the less green pockets. तो जहाँ पे प्लांटेशन ज़्यादा होंगी, बट ऑब्वियस है कि वहाँ की टेम्परेचर थोड़ी कूल डाउन करेंगे. Now, simply, yet effective solutions can have increased the Jaipur resilience, including the community recharge pits in the neighborhood parks and increasing permissible space along the mobility corridors to decrease the runoff and sizable fractions. Now, in the way forward, what you can conclude, the suggested planning approach has merits and comprehensive stakeholders' participations towards building the climate resilience infrastructure is the only way out, and this has to be adopted both by the central and the state government. Active involvement from the various tiers of the government, either the part of the central or state government, non-governmental organization, यहाँ पे आप ट्रिपल पी मॉडल या फिर एनजीओ की भी बात कर सकते हैं, right? Another based organization, academic institutions are desirable to sew up their sustainable profitability ideas, which is arriving for a very specific interventions. Therefore, India requires a long-term strategy that must accommodate the most vulnerable of the people, low emissions pathway to achieve the sustainable growth and poverty eradications. So this is how, if things are worked in the right place, the right direction, right strategy, this would be very easy for India to achieve the desired targets. Now, moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day, before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For the first question, the correct option was C. For the second question, the correct answer was A. Today's MCQ for practice. Mission Vatsalyats aim to reduce the infant mortality, and this is under the National Human Bank, and Lactation Conservation Center is also supposed to be established under this mission. So do check it out for the correct option. This type of social security and welfare program is again very much important for the prelims examination. Second, Defense Acquisition Council. The Prime Minister is the chairman of the council. It was formed after the group of the minister accommodating reforming national security system post-Kargil war in 1999. So do check it out for the correct options. This type of question practice might help you to get an extra edge over the prelims and give you the clarity about the topics as well. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.